Howard, because if you go to his website today and he tells you how to make compost tea, he tells you get a 5-gallon bucket, fill it 2/3 full of manure, let it sit 14 days and use the liquid. That's not compost tea. As a matter of fact, that might make a good weed killer if it goes anaerobic. You don't even want to do that. Compost tea is taking a small amount of compost in a liquid, aerating it properly so that you get a few bugs out of the compost, and then they multiply. Bacteria at 85 degrees, a number of them multiply about every 12 to 20 minutes. So imagine what you've got in 24 hours of brewing. You don't need to knock all those bugs off. You're not trying to leach all the bugs out of the manure or the compost. You're trying to get an inoculant so that your aerated water with molasses in it, or if you want fungi, fish hydrolysate, or oats, or wheat hulls, or whatever you're using, feed these guys and give you a great number in an overnight solution. That's all you're trying to do. That's what compost tea is. Again, Dr. Elaine Ingham has done studies. She's an it sounds like she was put in jail. She used to be a professor at University of Oregon and started her own business based around this. She is still the princess of compost, if there is anybody. She teaches, she's got places from Australia to New York to Europe. And I went and studied with her. I went to Oregon. She is convinced that if there's a simple way to re-inoculate the soils that we've sterilized, that compost tea is it. And so we'll go from there. I'm never get this straight. I'm not going to make you read that. I'm going to make you read, and I'll read one thought for you. And again, we're in a doctor's office. This is great. Food for thought. If a man has cancer, does he have cancer because of a lack of chemotherapy? Isn't that the way we think today? That's what we do in his body. Absolutely not. So it is with plants. Does a plant have a disease because of a lack of pesticides? Isn't that how we look at it? The plant gets sick. We don't say, wait, that's a symptom of a problem I need to cure. We just try to see what we can spray on it to fix the problem. But that's not addressing the problem. Okay? Healthy plants grow in soils that are vibrant and full of microbial life. One sentence, and then I could have done this and left in 2 minutes. Feed the soil and let the soil feed the plants. I don't care what you're growing. Think about what you're doing. Coffee grounds are wonderful in their own right. Everything organic. I always get embarrassed here, but I always tell you, I don't even have a toilet that flushes at my home. I use National Sanitation Foundation, USF approved or NSF approved composting toilets. I have 3 of them. Once you get used to them, you'll never have another flushing toilet on earth. Flushing toilets smell. My NSF tunnel doesn't smell at all. And all that goes where? Right where it came from, right back out on the earth. All my water goes to a little bitty ponded area I've got where I'm growing some palm trees, and actually I'm trying this year to grow some elephant ears to make my own poi. If you've ever eaten poi, it's the world's worst food. It's like you got to find something to do with it, but I want to grow some. And I'm putting it right back where it came from. And I'm not putting it in a septic system. I really question the wisdom of a septic system, where you take all this mess and put it in this primordial soup and expect it to be healthy somewhere down the road. You'd be way better off to take and put it out there in the sunshine. How long do you think it would be dangerous out in the UV of a bright sunny day?
12 minutes.
Yeah, 12, 15 minutes, it's sterile. But what we do is bury it in the ground and turn it into this disease-laden primordial soup, and then you wonder what the hell you do with it when it flows in the river and kills our fish. It doesn't make any sense to me. In that way, the Chinese are smarter than we think they are. Now, where's that? Point this in. Not the wrong way.
You point towards it, you'll go forward.
I'm going the wrong way. I am going
backwards. Yeah.
Well, that's the end. I just want to stretch it out. No. These are just people. All I put here is, if you don't want to use, and I have no objection to manure-based, but there's a number of things like Texas tea, Bradfield, that are based, if you look on feather meal, alfalfa meal, there is no sludge and there's no manure in it. Now, I'm pro-manure. I have a manure problem. Come on, folks, I have a composting toilet. But there are fertilizers out there for those of you that want them that are not based on manures. And some people like to know that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about real fertilization. First of all, it doesn't take much. My wife has been growing her roses for 4 years, and the only thing she ever puts on them, ever, it's been a rule, is the water from our sink after we wash our dishes. It's got everything it needs. Come on, you live on it. The traces of the meat you ate, the traces of all the vegetables you ate. Of course, we do use Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap, so we don't have any soap problems. But she's in her 3rd or 4th year, I'd have to ask her, of only watering this one whole bed of roses, of only fertilizing this one whole bed of roses with dishwater. What do you do with your dishwater? Isn't it going down the drain? Everybody?
Yes.
How many gallons do you think you use?
It's just me.
Think about that if you're going to grow a garden. In case you don't know, in Texas, my shower water is black water, and I could be arrested for putting it on my lawn. Now, wait a minute. That's the law. It's the real law here that if you put your shower water out on the lawn and they catch you, you can be fined. Well, I don't know what you're doing in the shower, but I don't think that water needs to be wasted and going into a septic system or going down our public drains in the New Braunfels or wherever you live's waterway. It's very ironic that I lived in the San Fernando Valley of California until they kicked me out. No, I just lived there a short time. And if you didn't divert your water to the grasses and to your garden, you paid an extra amount of tax. That included your shower, and that included your dishwasher and your washer and dryer. Didn't include they still thought also bathing was like dirty. The rest of it. When I came to Texas, I found out the only water you can legally divert, is from your your clothes washer and dryer. If you bathe dishes in it, then it must be dirty. If you bathed your body in it, it must be dirty. Certainly if it came out of your toilet.
Do they continue to do that in California?
Continue right now. You get a tax rebate for using gray water, which is what they call gray. The problem is the definition of gray water. Here everything's black. Black water means that it shouldn't go out on the ground. Gray water means that it can. Unfortunately, we don't think much is gray water. And I'm not sure where we got this wisdom from.
The AMA in Texas.
Who is it?
The AMA in Texas.
American Medical Association?
In Texas.
I don't quite understand that, regardless of who thought it ought to be there. My suggestion is that you get yourself a plumber and you divert all your water in your house out to your garden. The exception probably is your toilet. That might not make your neighbors very heavy. You know, they might not like it. I guess you realize in China, although it's probably outgrown it now, that virtually all the fertilizer they use is human. Almost 100%. And they don't get any more disease, probably less disease than we do. We've really gotten to this sanitization. Is that the right word?
1 minute.
Give me a word.
Sanitization.
Is that a word?
Yes.
I don't like that word. We sanitize our earth. Give me a break, folks. I guess, David, nobody in here has been to my house yet. Maybe Jason has. Have you been there yet?
Haven't been to Camp Dooley
You've
yet.
been to Camp Dooley. We call it Camp Dooley for a reason. But I think we live a pretty healthy life. But we sure as hell are not sanitizing everything we do. I cook outside 320 days a year. Outside. I'm not talking about like, on the porch sometimes. And if my food sits out there a while, it just sits out there a while. And I can't remember. I was sick once because I poisoned myself 4 months ago. I got 30 more seconds. Let me finish this. I drank some microbes that were supposed to go into my septic system for my brother by accident. Really made me sick. I lost about 9 pounds. That's the last time I've been sick in about a decade. And I'm not a pill popper. I do take all my supplements. She and I talk about that. I wish that the vitamins and the minerals were all in the plants we need, but if you're buying commercial vegetables and fruits and meats, they're not. You really do need to get your supplements. If it were, she wouldn't have a job and we'd both be on the streets. But unfortunately, the place is really, we've really sucked it all out of everything we eat. Any questions? I'm done. He wants me to leave.
He's done. He's done.
Thank you,
Thank you, Bruce.